Yeah, nice one. Okay, so my name is Sylvester, as you know already, and this channel is really about offering valuable content to startups and those who want to venture into startups. At the same time, too, the intent is to um, create some publicity, get the world to know about startups and also the wonderful things that startups are doing across the globe. So, you, for instance, being in Ghana and doing this wonderful work, I think the world would want to know more about what you do, how you do it, what keeps you going, and yeah, like the secrets in there, just to motivate others to get going and yeah, get things done. So that's basically what the channel is about.
Okay, great. Good to be here.
Yeah. So Nana Newman, your name is a nice name. Yeah, I like it. I've heard a bit about you. I've heard a bit about you and how your startup is using different methods and all of that to get results. Not to take the wind out of your sail. Let me allow you to tell us more about yourself and about your business.
Okay, so as you know, my name is Nana Newman. I come from a marine engineering background, so I studied marine engineering in university. Graduated as a marine engineer, then I actually worked in that profession for close to 5 years. So I was basically working on ships. But then after like my 4th and 5th year, I felt like I needed to relocate and do something more. I felt like there was something more which needed to be done. So at that point, I contacted a friend of mine. So he's a co-founder, and I told him, okay, so I'd like to come back. At first, I didn't really know what to settle on. So it was just maybe get a job, see how it goes alongside my profession. But then along the line, as if I should say, I got, my focus sort of went into agriculture when I tasted this fruit. So because of my job as a marine engineer, we're able to travel to different places. And I like adventures and trying new things. So I had this juice and it was very nice. And I was wondering, it was grown in Malaysia and their climate is similar to ours. So I wondered why that wasn't grown in Ghana. So then I decided, oh, you know what, back home we have a piece of land, nobody's using it. Let me try and see if this could work in Ghana. So that's when I decided to, get the seeds and everything. Came back to Ghana and picked on this journey. It was, let's say, in the beginning, of course, there was the relocation, like moving from your line of work to another line of work. The decision was tough, but then financially, you find out that you're a bit stable, but then you're not really taking into consideration, if your new startup is actually making profits or you're actually making losses. Because when things happen, you're always able to put your personal finances in it, and you're not really able to track a lot of things. So at that stage, sometimes you feel to see it more as a business which needs to survive on its own. So basically, I came back, and that was in 2017 with the co-founder. We started, researching. So we had already planted the melon. That was like honeydew melon. So we did that. We were really overjoyed when the first seed sprouted. So we were doing a lot of researching. So we had a few agronomists in the beginning stages, teach us different things. We kept on learning, some field, some didn't feel. So the melons were ready for harvest. And we kind of like went about the whole farming thing the wrong way. So instead of us to look for markets first, we actually planted and started looking for markets. But we're fortunate. Yes, because we're fortunate because we kept on asking and going from place to place and stopping from place to place, like trying to get buyers for our stuff. We're fortunate, so we got some buyers and we realized people actually liked the melons. So that's when we decided, it's kind of like a good thing, because the first one was a very small, I think it was even less than a plot of land. We decided, so from that point we decided, it would be good to get more seeds and grow over a wide area. So that was our first mistake. Yes. Sometimes people make the mistake of, looking at farming as a business. So people kind of mix gardening with farming, and people kind of mix just a normal person planting seeds to actual agribusiness. The agribusiness on itself is a whole different ballgame. A lot of things to take into consideration, the value, so many different things. But because we had done the first set, we thought, farming is just you plant, it comes, and that's it. We didn't calculate many things like yield, losses, all those things. So we tried it, and that one really failed. The second one really failed. And I think we did the third one. That one also failed. So we decided to realize, we're doing something wrong. So, and the money at that point, the money was getting finished. So that's when we actually set up and realized, something is going wrong. So we need to do something. So we started researching, trying to find out what we were doing wrong. So we did a whole lot of those research, and we came by a whole lot of good results. So we got a plan on how to grow it again one more time. We did that, and that was also a success because we had some help along the way. But then also it failed.
How come?
Yeah. So with the melons, we're supposed to be able to harvest a certain quantity and also harvest within a certain duration if you do it right. But because of a whole lot of different factors, the major one being climate, and the rainfall pattern we were given, it just suddenly changed in 2018. So everything got messed up, and outdoor growing is very difficult because a lot of those things affect the crops, rainfall and so many different things. Melons don't like a lot of that. So we're just able to harvest, just make one harvest, but only for a short period. So we didn't even make as much money as we would have. So that also brought to light a new thing. Why continue to try to farm the open when probably now there's a whole lot of new technology out there. So we started researching on greenhouse farming, on new ways to get into farming. That's when we stumbled upon hydroponics, and we realized that greenhouse farming has its own benefits, although it has its own downsides too, but it has a lot of benefits. So we started, making preparations for that. But at that point, we had run out of money. So then the next steps was, how do we acquire money to do this? And to do this, maybe if we don't get the money we need, how can we start with the barest minimum? So we started applying to so many different competitions. I mean, unfortunately, just at the time we needed, we got into one of the competitions. I think that was in 2018, this presidential pitch competition. As of the finalists, and we got some little cash. It wasn't enough, but it was enough to get us to a certain point. So, we had to build our own makeshift greenhouse, try to get a whole lot of, be resourceful with what we had. Yeah. And that's when we actually started this whole hydroponic journey. So we started with lettuce, and we were, mind you, we both didn't come from any agricultural background. I'm a marine engineer, and he did computer science in school. So a lot of it was research, reading, and practicing. Even before entering the hydroponics in the greenhouse, we had some samples at home. Funny story, every sample we did always failed. but when that greenhouse was ready, and we decided to, just move into the greenhouse, all the samples happened. Just move into it. We don't know what happened. Not do it at the entire greenhouse, maybe just like a slight portion. That was a very big success.
Wow.
So we realized, then I guess there was a lot of factors which wasn't favorable when we were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that time we had already picked up a few clients from the melons we were doing. So, but we had been, what do you call it? We had been dormant for a while. So we had to get back some of those clients. Unfortunately, we were advertising, putting ourselves there on social media. Aside that, we were doing a lot more, like what you call it, door to door and many of those things. Then we got a few clients. So we were okay. We knew we had enough clients to be able to take up the greenhouse space which we needed. That also came with a challenge. So we realized a lot of people were doing the green color lettuce. So we decided to do the red color ones. And so many people liked it. So we had a lot of clients who wanted the red. But the thing is, those were the end users and people who were like, let's say, so a lot of restaurants and these people. So the owners and stuff liked it. But they forgot that they also serve the public.
Yeah.
So they realized when they started buying it, then the public all thought, in Ghana, we kind of like have, let's say, how should I put this? We don't really like change so much.
Yeah.
So everybody, we don't really like go out of our way for things. So everybody knows lettuce is supposed to be green, but there are so many different.
Yeah.
They wanted the red because it beautifies the food and the salad and everything. But the clients all thought the lettuce was getting spoiled, it was going bad. So we had orders for a lot of red lettuce at that time, like 3,000 heads of lettuce. Which at that point, then we couldn't sell again because the people who were supposed to take it now couldn't take it because their client didn't want it. So we had to change that. I mean, everything we had there, we had to discard it. So we actually gave it out to the people in the community and all that. And we had to now replant green. So with a new timeline and everything, you get it. So yeah, but that didn't really break us down. So we continued. We did a green, and they actually were picking it. So fortunately, our clients were a bit loyal. So they decided to wait because we told them it would take a while longer, but we had to now nurse the green and all that. So it would take a duration. But they were like, yeah, like they could wait so that when we start giving it to them. So yeah, we started supplying them the lettuce, and they realized, the quality was good. We always make sure that we give people the highest quality stuff because we, as individuals, we prefer to always get high quality stuff. So, when we're always dishing out our stuff, we make sure that we are always giving them the high quality stuff. So, after catching on, I mean, we're getting recommendations from people who were now, like getting to know us from our pages, and it was hydroponics. It was a few people were doing hydroponics at that time, but then not many people actually believe that it's actually cost effective and it's actually sustainable in that way. So it kept on catching on, and technology was also what we were using at that time was also quite good because we didn't use any electricity or any pumps, so it was more like a standalone thing. So yeah.
Wait. I know you have more to share, okay? But I'm so itchy. I'm so anxious. I can't wait to get the rest of the gist. I don't know if it's the right time to cut in or allow you to finish, but
yeah. So
what is hydroponics in the first place? How did you manage your customers to get them to wait? Because as we all know, customers don't wait; they just move on to the next, supplier. And then third, how are you managing the whole thing with technology? How are you managing the whole service? These are 3 questions which I want to get out first. So once you continue, then at least you'll be thinking about it, Yeah, let's go on.
Yeah. Okay, so I could take the first one because the story continues from here. So the hydroponics is basically you don't grow in the soil, so you just grow in a water-based nutrient solution. So yeah, firstly like growing in water, but since the roots at the initial stage, let's say at the seedling stage, when you invest a home, the roots need a home at that point. So there's a medium you actually put the seeds in where germinate, they sprout and everything, and then they grow before you transplant in your hydroponic system. So that's the only medium used. But the rest is just, the roots are just growing in water. So yeah, so that's the short form of hydroponics actually. So yeah, so
So
let's say when
in other words,
client,
it's like growing food in the air.
yeah. So you can grow hydroponics in a whole lot of different places. Once you have anything which can hold water without any leakage, and you have the nutrients which is needed, give it the sunlight, the oxygen, and the other things plants need to grow, your plant is actually able to grow. So that's basically hydroponics. So when it comes to clients, I'd say I could say we've been fortunate with that side. I think it boiled down to us being able to identify the markets. We started out by supplying to supermarkets, but we stopped because of a few factors. So we actually decided to move from supermarkets. Initially when you start like this, you want to supply to everybody, you want to supply everywhere, you want everybody to know you. But we realized at that stage, supermarkets were not helping us. So we needed the ones who could actually help us grow and grow with us. So we decided to go to those like restaurants and a few places. But even with the restaurants, you have to know where to go because you are now giving them different types of produce. So what made us stand out in our own way was, first of all, hydroponics. We didn't have a lot of people who were doing hydroponics. And wherever they were also getting their lettuce from, it wasn't really hydroponics. So the quality was also a bit different. So first of all, we were offering them the quality they needed. And funny thing is we packaged it in a way which made it easy for them to use. So it made it easy for them to also make orders. So we got those feedback from the kitchen staff. So they always said because of our packaging, our lettuce makes it like easier for them to actually use it, because of the way it comes, unlike the regular lettuce they buy in the sacks and everything. So, we had a different way we took it to them. And the quality was there. I mean, the quality was always there. Like they knew what they get today is what they get tomorrow or next week. Only because whenever we are harvesting, we always make sure we send the good ones to them. So whenever there are any bad ones, we take it out and those bad ones are, let's say, eatable ones, not like they are very bad. They are eatable, but we always look out for a certain type of grade. So maybe it don't need to be any sports and any stuff like that. So our harvesting process could take a longer time because when we harvest with each, let's say we're harvesting, it takes about 30 seconds to a minute for you to check the entire lettuce, make sure that there's actually nothing inside before you kind of like do everything and bag it. So from the red ones, they realized, we had kind of like a system, like we were a bit different from what we were doing. Yeah, so asking them to wait and communication also came inside, being able to communicate with them also helped us. So, we were able to communicate and, come because although, we had most of them actually change their order. A lot of people could have then moved away, but I think we took it like that. It was a business for us, but then we had to find a common ground to communicate well. And I think they realized the communication is good. So they decided to stick and wait for us to actually get going. So yeah, but the quality is one thing which I could say is always, because what you get today is what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like half of the journey. We started making some good sales, and we're now able to apply to more things. We've done sent a whole lot of applications. Competitions, many things. It comes back. Most of them come back. No. Some few ones come back as yeses, but you get you apply to so many things, and you still keep on applying. It doesn't change. You always have to apply. So you realize that's what I was saying. You realize there are some competitions, I think every entrepreneur has that. There could be like, you apply to a whole lot of different things, but out of everything, it's all you actually realize there's one particular or two or three particular competitions where you always make sure you keep on applying because you want to be in that space for a reason. And even with us, there are some competitions where we don't make it this year, but you want to be in it for a reason. Maybe it's not the funding, it's not, but it's a particular reason you guys want to be in it. So you keep on applying. You could apply there are some competitions which are every year, but you apply once you don't get it, you feel like, oh no, like this can go. You apply new ones, you apply new ones. But I think every company has this, every startup or whatever has this specific place or this one specific competition or place where they also want to be. So out of maybe you can send like 50, you can make application for 50 or so competition, but there's a particular one or two where every single time that slot is open, you always want to apply. But there could be like 40 of them where even if they're open again, you just feel like, no, this is not for you. But then there's always those few ones where you always want to be, any single time you see the application open, you always want to apply for it because you feel like there's a reason you need to be there.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of that. You don't actually apply to a lot of different competitions.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So I think as I was saying, there's always that point where you apply to so many of them that you actually, for us in our case, I say we lost so many of those type of competitions where you sometimes get emails from those companies telling you can't be a part of this program. You kind of like know the email just by the first sentence before even opening the email. But you win a few and you lose quite a lot. But yeah, you still need to keep on moving because it's all about believing in what you are doing, believing in the change you are making. And also what sometimes, most of the time, gives you a sense of progress is whether you are the lives you are impacting or also at the point where you know that financially maybe it's starting to make sense or business-wise things are starting to come around. At those points you kind of like know that I need to keep on moving or I need to stay back. Financially it could be that at that point you're not yet breaking even, you haven't just started breaking even, but you can tell from the market you have, the clients you have, you can do your projections and know that, based on how it's going, I'm not yet there now, but based on how it's going, if I work like 5 or 6 times more, I can actually get to this point I want to get to. I came from this point. Maybe I had 0 clients. In a year, I was able to get like 20 clients, all due to this and this. I mean, maybe I'm at that point where I can't serve all 20 clients because we are at our maximum capacity already. But I realized that getting clients maybe is not a problem. So now we need to find a way to scale up and meet the clients. So a few factors will help aid you be able to tell you the direction in which you're going. And we've been persistent through our journey. You keep on moving. we're always looking for clients, we're always looking for ways to grow, looking for ways to scale up, because I'd say our tropical growers, our dream and our vision, which is actually not a dream anymore, but our vision is actually bigger than what we were ever imagined. And every time that's what keeps us moving, because we know that we need to get to that point where we haven't even gotten to that point. So no matter how far we go, we still have the whole journey ahead of us.
Okay.
So through it all, we had COVID when it still started going okay. More markets were coming. Then we had COVID, and everything went differently again. Now we couldn't plan so much. We couldn't actually, because those we were under supplying more of these restaurants and a few places, and those hospitality places couldn't operate again. So that meant we had to now try and look for different ways to get around. So then we had to either try and go back into the supermarket we moved from, or try and look for something else to grow. So that's when we decided to develop this. We realized people wanted to pick on this, growing from home, having your own home garden, growing what you eat and everything. So that's when we decided to do we have this other model where we install hydroponic system for you in your backyard, so you can actually become a grower. That's also
okay.
Elevate us to a certain point. So yeah, at that point, it took us from where we were and moved us to a certain point, because now we weren't able to really go to the farm, but then we brought the farm to people. So we were still not lost in the whole COVID system. We actually found ourselves again. That really caught on, and we did a lot of installations for different types of clients. And at that point too, we also won a grant from this Dutch organization. So we had now started getting funding, which was to help us scale up, now build 2 actually well-built greenhouses. So as we were waiting for the greenhouses to be Ghana, we were doing the installations to actually help get us by. So we started giving out training, because we realized people also want to get into this whole urban farming system and everything. So we started offering trainings, and the greenhouses came. I think that was last year. We had them installed and everything, and after that we moved more into bell peppers. So we now do the colored bell peppers, and we've been doing that since about July last year. And now it's something we really want to make our main focus, so be able to grow that and get that consistently. So that's what we are really into now. So we do a lot of, I think, only bell peppers on the farm now. But so that's the tropical journey so far.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Thank you so much, Anna. We really appreciate. From A to Z, you've given us the entire journey, the roadmaps in there, the timelines in there, and what you did when you faced the difficult situations, how you were able to change your strategy to remain relevant in the industry, from producing and supplying to restaurants or your key clients, and then they serving your products to the individual clients, all the way from changing from that to bringing farming to individuals in their homes. You guys have been really, really great, believe me. And then, like you said, it's all about being really resilient. It's all about being focused, being strategic, and then when the time comes, you being able to pivot, and then honing in on your strong areas and using your limited resources to get the best return on investment for all your hard work. So you guys are doing really, really great. At the end of the day, your head is up the water. You've not sunk. You're a business. I'm sure you've gone past your break even, and you're making profit as a startup. Yeah, nice one. Yeah. So could you give me just briefly, how are you using technology to inform all that you are doing? I know everything here is technology. Yes. The hydroponics itself, not planting in the ground or in the soil, but planting elsewhere in the air using pipes and all of that. That in itself is, well, a different level of technology, but in terms of payments and like the different types of technologies, is there any artificial intelligence you are using? Is there any data science you are using? Which other aspects of technology are you using to inform your work?
Yes. So currently, those are all some of the things you mentioned: the AI, some sensors, and some infrared things. Those are all things which are in the pipeline for things yet to do. And why we haven't been able to get them done is the cost. Those ones are once you get into technology, those ones are more expensive. So at this point where we know, we're at a point where we can now make good projections, know our cash flow, we now know what we want, how to move forward in life, looking for what types of funding we need and where the funding will be. And that's one of the key things which we've always been looking out for. So one of the next steps we're going to take will be, in terms of expansion, will be more greenhouses, and those greenhouses comes with most of the technology you mentioned. So whereby we have most of those sensors and those AI and a few the cloud services where we're able to do a few of those things. So currently we just these collaborative tools in terms of record keeping and bookkeeping. So we have the Google Sheets and those things to actually keep us updated. So things are always on the web. Whenever we need a document or we need any farm details or farm data, it's always readily accessible since it's always on the cloud. So those are what we are currently using. Technology, deep technology is something which we as a company we are really looking forward to. So something which very soon, maybe on our next call, by the time we get it, like we'd actually have a lot of deep tech additions to our systems.
Okay. All right, nice. So if you're watching this video and irrespective of where you are and if you're interested in hydroponics, basically what that means is if you're looking to farm using different technologies, maybe where you are, you don't have access to soil or farmlands, but you are looking forward to farming, either on small scale or large scale, please do contact Nana Newman. They have the expertise, the experience, and the resources. And of course, to sum it up, I would say they have the knowledge and they know the strategy. They have practiced it. They know what works, what doesn't work. They can actually come in and help you set up and help you maintain your hydroponics farm. So please do reach out. Their contact is in the description. Also, don't forget to sign up by subscribing to this channel, like the video, share with your network. And if you have any questions or comments, please do comment or leave it in the comment section. And either myself or Nana would swiftly answer you. Yeah. Is there any question I haven't? Okay, wait. Yeah, let me quickly chip in this. So what does the future hold? What's your future strategy? What's your plan for 2022 and also the next, say, 5 years? Like what should we expect from your business?
So in 2022, what we plan at Capital Growers, what we actually find out, people actually ask why we don't have a lot of varieties. Like let's say when we are doing one thing, we just stick to that particular thing and then keep on doing it. We know one of the problems or the gaps we have is consistency. I mean, sometimes if let's say you have a farm which is doing grapes, or let's say you have a farm which is doing basil, go next month, they are not doing basil, they are doing something else. You go another month, they are doing tomatoes, you go another month, they are doing this. We want to bring consistency to our clients. We want them to know that when they're getting pepper from us, they can get it from January to December. The pepper is still going to be the same at this price or at this one. You know that anytime they need peppers, they come to Tropical Growers, they can always get peppers. So we pride ourselves on consistency. So whatever we are about to add, whatever new thing we are about to add on, we try to always make sure that we can get it consistently. If we can't really get it consistently, then we try not to, not to actually bring it on board. So with the peppers, what we are really focusing on this year is to make sure that we really get the last year was the very first time we did peppers. So this year we are going to, the plan is to be able to get a hold of the peppers. The more you keep on doing something, the better you get at it. We want to be one of the best growers out there, giving you whatever best quality produce you want. The next 5 years, we want tropical growers to be the name you actually look for when you are looking for quality in produce. If you want a healthy lifestyle, that once it comes from tropical growers, it's just assured that the quality is available. You want to be known to be the best growers. People who always give you that consistent supply of produce, the high quality produce you want all year round. That's the 5 year vision. We want to be able to expand, actually be able to serve more people than we can now. So being able to expand, at the same time making quality and consistency key points.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Nana. What are some of the policies you think if government should implement, it will go a long way to help the African environment, or the sub-region, to help improve hydroponics?
Culture as a whole, I wouldn't say, since I'm in Ghana, I'd say in Ghana, we kind of like, first of all, from basic education, we don't see agriculture as a business. We need to start seeing agriculture as a business. It's a whole business. And when we say it's a business, being in the agri space doesn't mean just be in the farm. The value chain is big. There are so many different places where people can plug themselves in the value chain. Anybody in Ghana who actually hears anyone in agriculture, the first thing they think about is, job, which is something you do alongside the job, or it's something which you just do as a part-time something. Like agriculture, most agriculture is that is actually your main job. But the plant is like this thing.
I didn't get the first one. Are you able to wrap up the first one and then add this there? Yeah.
Yes, the first one is we should be able to find a way to start seeing agriculture as a business, not just as an exercise job. And that's realize, it doesn't cover agricultural policies and stuff. They are STEM on the university graduates and stuff. But then by university, a lot of we need to develop a business. And also the other thing is, when it comes to pricing and associations, you can be a farm being one of the way the prices are being compared to who's doing people are about to buy it, we always want to do. But if we had these organizations and bodies who are able to set prices, this a fixed price lettuce. If you're getting lettuce from a greenhouse, this is the price you to goods the buyer feels. So it makes it a bit difficult, especially when you want to do stuff and bring real quality, because then you'll be investing more. When you invest more, you have to read what you're getting, and that's where sometimes it becomes a problem. So we need to have very strong, associations and be able to have set points for anything for some of these producers that we know that
Okay. The line wasn't too clear, but I'll add it to it anyway. I'm sure we'll get a thing or two in there. Sorry, I think there's something that we can't do, like we have no control over. It's the internet anyway. Yeah. All right, Nana. Thank you so much. Is there any question for me? It's been one week throughout.
Yeah. So yes, it's been nice. I mean, having this discussion with you, nice being able to find out in this place. Nice also officially meeting you. So do you do these spaces, and also are you in Ghana most of the time, or?
Yeah, I'm based in the UK. I haven't been to Ghana for the past 3 years. So yeah. And the motive for doing this, was that the question, right? It was breaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, the motive for doing this is to build I would say a database of resilient strategies that is keeping people above the waters of challenges with startups. So what is the motivation for those who are succeeding? What are the lessons for those who are struggling and those who want to get into it? You know, it's more of something like that. And then, well, what we can learn along the line is about seeing things differently. What other perspectives are there to see? And what better way to do this than to share with the rest of the world and create a win-win-win for all. You know, I get to learn, the world gets to know of you, and possibly all things being equal, and fingers crossed, if any angel investor or any donor or funding agency is to stumble on this video and they are interested, of course, they can reach out to you, contact you, and then you take things from there. At the same time, too, if there are any research institutions who are interested in your journey, in your business case, then they can also reach out to you and then take things from there. So that's the whole idea behind this deep dives on YouTube. Yeah.
That's a very good program. So I'm hoping that we get to be here in the next few years when there's that change, and we can talk a lot more about the technology changes and the new addition to the company, and people get to also appreciate how the journey is also going.
Okay, all right, nice one. Thank you so much, Nana. We really appreciate, and we will touch base with you again. So until we touch base again, yeah, bye.
All right, bye.
All right, please subscribe to this channel if you're watching this video. Like, comment, share with your network, and if you know anyone who is willing to share their experience, their exposure, their knowledge, please get in touch. It's all about motivating ourselves, building a positive network for ourselves. Like I always say, and as we've all heard, if you associate yourself with 9 wise people, you become the 10th wise person. If you associate yourself with 9 millionaires or billionaires, it's most likely you end up being the 10th millionaire or billionaire. And at the same time, too, if you associate yourself with 9 people who are full of negative energy, guess what? They'll drain you. You lose your energy as well. So this network is to help connect and build that resilient network of positive energy, motivation, inspiration, and individuals or networks that will help us stay on track, stay motivated, keep making progress, and then at the end of the day, get the result that we're all looking for to help build that community that we all need, full of successful individuals, startups, students, you name it. So that's all about this network. Please subscribe, share with your network.